the screws are tightening, and it's not just happening in the Middle East. It was an incredible thing once again to be there in Israel and fly back here at home. And what are we seeing? We're seeing riots in Los Angeles. We see the Freedom Flotilla that Greta, what I heard her name was Regreta.
Thunberg.
Thunberg. Regreta on the selfie yacht. And all of the narrative that evil will lie. Evil will try to take hold of the story and knock it down. And so it really is a cosmic battle between good and evil. And if you're on the side of evil, you're not going to see the good. And that's what we're facing today. Hey, well, welcome. Shalom Chavarim. This is the Jewish Road Podcast, and my name is Matt Davis, and looky there.
Yep. Hey, I'm Ron Davis, and I am here.
Still kicking.
Present.
And accounted for. We wanted to jump on here quick because there's a lot going on. There's a lot that's been going on. We just got back from Israel about a week ago.
Yeah.
Are you sleeping yet?
Not very much.
Were you ever sleeping?
No, not very much.
Yeah. You went into the trip to Israel not being a good sleeper.
Yeah.
And then you braved it with, I shouldn't say you braved it with me. I'm a pleasure to live with.
Oh my gosh.
I braved it with you.
Listen, you know what Bubby used to say, self-praise is no recommendation.
Yeah, that's right. But I mean, just picture this, like it was 17 days in the land. We shared a room.
Yeah.
And in Israel, it's not like you don't have two queen beds, right? You have two twin beds and they're pushed together. You can imagine the scene.
Yeah. Well, they're pushed together in the one room, the last room. We went, the hotel said, we got to separate the beds.
Yeah.
So all they did was take the sheets and tuck them in, but they kept the beds together.
That's right. I'm like, why did that take so long? It took them forever. We just went out and got something to eat. But we're here. And we're here because we have a story to tell. And the story of Israel and what's going on there will be the thing that we'll be talking about for a long time. We have been talking a lot for a long time.
Yeah.
But we also, so not only do we want to look back, and this is going to be very brief, but I think maybe the bigger impetus for us jumping on here is what is about to happen in Israel.
Yeah.
So let's hold that for a second. I know you want to get to that part. It's always with the prophecy stuff with you. But we'll get there. This is called a tease.
Oh,
we just set it up. Okay. And now they have to sit here and listen.
Okay.
If they're smart, they're going to just scrub ahead and get to that other part. But
go ahead and tease them.
That was the tease. Oh. We have something that we want to tell them that we want to talk about. And as lighthearted and whatever we're doing right now, actually everything that we have to talk about is actually very heavy and very serious.
Yeah, it's not lighthearted at all.
Yeah.
There's things happening since we've gotten back from Israel, just in the last few days. I think the time has run out on the negotiations that Trump was going to be doing.
Hold on. You're going all the way to the end.
That's the beginning.
No, that's not the beginning. The beginning is Abraham in Genesis. Let me help. I'm going to give us some direction and pacing with this stuff because
Abraham, you're going to go all the way back to Abraham?
No, not this time. We're just going to, here, what are two main things that we walked away with regarding the people of Israel when we were there? What was like the big takeaway? We wanted to go there, and this is different. And what I've said is, if you've never been to Israel, most Christians, they know the people of the Bible, but they don't know the places of the Bible. So we take them, and here, come to the Valley of Elah. What's the Valley of Elah? It's David and Goliath. And then they say, oh, okay, I get it. But this trip is different because it wasn't about the people of the Bible or even the places of the Bible, although it was a little bit of that. Really, what we wanted to do was connect with the people of the land. And so we got to talk to the people. This was not a normal tour. We didn't have a group. It was just you and I.
No, we connected with many of the people from Dan to Beersheba, from top to bottom in Israel. And we were able to get a sense of what they are going through, what they're living through. There's a lot of difficulty and tension, and yet there are people on the other hand that are still enjoying life.
Yeah. And so you get a sense of that. Like part of the time we were there, we were in Tiberias, and you can see people are out on the Sea of Galilee and they're on jet skis. And then we're in other parts of the country, and part of the country is evacuated because they're waiting for more rockets to come in, and some they're living life in the midst of bombs and rockets going off in the background. Let's talk about the war real quick. Where are the people at regarding the war? Do they want to keep going on, or are they just done and finished with the whole thing?
I think that they don't want war anymore in the land. I think they're finished with it.
I would say they don't ever want war. I mean, this whole thing, they were forced into it.
Yeah. Well, they were defending themselves. They were attacked. They're not attacking. They've never attacked anybody.
Right. Not preemptively. I mean,
well, they have preemptively.
We could talk about 1967, but anyway, with that, the people are done with this, and really, what that leads to is the hostages. Everywhere we went, you were reminded from the moment you get off the plane and you're walking through the airport.
Yeah,
the hostages are
pictures everywhere.
Pictures, makeshift tents, hostage square. Yeah. Everyone's wearing the yellow ribbons and the pins. The people, I think they're tired. There's post-traumatic stress. It's not even post-traumatic. They're still in the trauma, and they're experiencing that constantly. Yeah. They wake up every single day, and the nightmare is still there.
Yeah, yeah. It's a very tense life to live in. A lot of stressful,
and so even
things happening all around them.
And even while we were there, we experienced, I think, 3 or 4 sirens and rocket attacks from Yemen. It was not a thing. It felt very kind of routine for everybody. I was on the road for one of those and just pulled over to the side like everybody else did and got out. We were in a hotel for one of those times, but
just went into the shelter room and that was it. And it was kind of like a daily routine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, what was not coming were rockets from Lebanon while we were there. And there were not rockets coming from Gaza while we were there. It's still Yemen and the Houthis, and they're still proxies to Iran. And so now let's get to the thing that you want to talk about. And really what's staring down the barrel right now is what will become of Iran, right? We've talked about how Iran is the puppet master and they have all of their proxies. And about a year ago, when they're sending over a couple hundred ballistic missiles, they came out from behind the curtain and they're all, here we are. And so there's no more hiding it. But what is the situation that we are looking at right now with Iran?
Well, there has been, in the last several days, there has been a lot of chatter from news agencies, from commentators, from people that something is up, something is going on. The talks between the United States and Iran have really kind of reached their end. Iran says that they don't want any part of what the United States is requesting.
We've been negotiating with them for the last couple months.
Yeah, for the last couple of months. Trump put a 2-month limit on it and asked Israel basically to not do anything, to let him have that opportunity to do that. But now things seem to be changing. There's a lot of talk, a lot of chatter going on. There's a lot of tension going on in the air right now. In fact, the United States is going to be closing the embassy in Damascus.
Yeah, over in Syria.
Pulling the people out of there. And not only that, but the State Department is going to order the departure of all non-essential personnel from United States embassies in the Middle East. Mm. And all of our bases, our military bases in the Middle East are on high alert to be ready for an attack.
An attack from?
An attack from Iran, basically.
So is the idea that this would be a retaliatory attack that's coming from Iran, or is this a preemptive attack? Because the big concern with Iran, if you're new to the story, is that they have been enriching uranium and they've been trying to build a nuclear bomb. Yeah. It feels like for most of my life.
But they say that's not what they want it for civilian purposes, but this has been going on for a long time. And every time we enter into negotiations, it's kind of like a stall tactic. While we're talking, they're building.
Right. And I can't tell you for how many years I've heard, like, they're just weeks away from, enriching enough that they can now weaponize it, and they can, I don't know how nuclear bombs work, but, Iran is not the only country in the world that is seeking or even has nuclear weapons.
No.
But why is it important that they, in particular, are going for this?
It's important. I mean, there are a number of nations that have nuclear weapons. The United States has it. China has it.
Russia has it.
Russia has it.
Israel probably has it, but they won't admit that they have it.
Yeah,
but they have it.
I think so. The difference between all of that, they have it, and we know why. But the difference between Iran having it is they are a terrorist, jihadist country that is committed to the destruction of Israel and the Jewish people and the United States.
Right. Don't forget
after that. Yeah. I mean, we're not off the shelf here in this country. Well, so that is the whole distinction here. And so that's what's creating a lot of the talk and a lot of the chatter that we're seeing going on from different news agencies. Reuters, for example, they're saying that the Baghdad embassy of the United States has already been on limited staffing and that the Pentagon is standing by to support a potential evacuation of U.S. personnel from our embassy in Baghdad. All this information has come out on condition of anonymity, but it's being reported, is reported by Reuters, and we're looking at pulling out from embassies in Bahrain, in Iraq, in Kuwait. These are all ally nations.
Well, and here's some of the stuff that I'm reading right now is that there's an emergency meeting of Iran's Supreme National Security Council. It's expected tomorrow, and that will be attended by senior Army and IRGC commanders. Iran is declaring maximum alert across all Revolutionary Guard and military bases for the entire nation. And I'll get to this in a second, and then there's reports that one of the generals, the commander of the IRGC Aerospace Force, has arrived near the Iraqi border, home to Iran's ballistic missile bases. And if that's not enough, IRGC-affiliated Iran media claim that the evacuation of embassies and U.S. military movements are clear signs of an imminent operational attack.
Right.
But here's the thing. It feels like, we're clearing out some of our embassies. There's lots of movement, lots of chatter, lots of things going on, waiting or expecting that Iran's going to do something. But Iran is sitting over there looking at all of the other activity, what the U.S. is doing, what Israel's doing, and they are expecting something as well. And it feels like, all right, I'm not on inside of the conversation, but Israel is not going to wait very long for this to go. I feel like they have been restrained and they're just ready to go because a nuclear weapon for Israel, again, a country the size of New Jersey.
It's the end of the story.
Yeah, it's an existential threat. At least over here in the States, we're a little bit bigger. We have a little bit more time, perhaps more defense. But I mean, even with the Russia-Ukraine thing, when things started getting heated with Russia, there's this idea, if they start launching nuclear weapons, we are assuring our mutual destruction. But Israel is primed and ready. They want to take this out.
Yeah, they have wanted to, and they've been waiting for the United States to really kind of, I think, give them the go-ahead that the negotiations have failed, and it seems like the negotiations have failed. Simply because Iran does not want to make any concessions to anything, and we don't really want concessions. We want them not working on a nuclear weapon. And this is nothing new. I mean, this has been from the beginning. Even when Israel and the United States entered into negotiations with Yasser Arafat back in that day and offered him everything that he asked for, and having given him everything that he asked for, he said no. And so we're dealing with the same people here still. So I think we're very close on the brink of something, and I think this is something that people should be aware of. Iran has warned that it will attack U.S. bases without hesitation.
Yep.
And so this is the world that we have come into, and things are, you know, heating up really fast right now.
Right. And you have to think, I mean, we have a perspective on this. There is definitely another side to this whole thing that has a perspective, right? That we are the infidels. Israel is the infidels. There is a religious ideology that says that we're either convert to Islam or you are an infidel, and therefore we have a right to kill you. Yeah. But we just think about this: the years that Palestinians were offered independence and statehood. Yeah. Listen to this: 1947, right? The UN partition plan, rejected. 1949, offered again, rejected. 1967, 1978, 2000, 2001, rejected. 2014, rejected. 2019, rejected.
You left out 2005 when they were given the entire Gaza Strip.
Yeah, well, they accepted that part, and then
they took that, but they didn't take it in peace. They took it as a war zone.
Right.
Yeah.
But you see, like, what's going on, and I think we feel this. The screws are tightening, and it's not just happening in the Middle East. It was an incredible thing once again to be there in Israel and fly back here at home. And what are we seeing? We're seeing riots in Los Angeles. Yeah. We see the Freedom Flotilla that Greta, what I heard her name was Regreta.
Thunberg.
Yeah, Thunberg. Regreta on the selfie yacht. And all of the narrative that evil will lie. Evil will try to take hold of the story and knock it down. And so it really is a cosmic battle between good and evil. Yeah. And if you're on the side of evil, you're not going to see the good. And that's what we're facing today.
Yeah. And there's so much happening right now. We know what the end of the story is. We just don't know what the getting to that end looks like.
Yeah.
But I think we should be aware when we see these kinds of things taking place in the Middle East, threats, our embassies, we're bringing them home. Something's up.
Yeah, I mean, it's been up for a while, but
it's really up.
It's
getting closer and closer. We need to be aware. We need to be praying for Israel. We need to be praying for the United States. We need to be praying for leadership, for wisdom, for all of those things.
Yep. And so, you're actually going on yet another little trip tomorrow. So we wanted to make sure we just jumped on here real quick because we want the church to be alive and awake to what's going on. Right. We do not want to be caught sleeping. We should, number one, be looking towards the return of the Lord and his kingdom and his will and his government established here on earth. But there is stuff that's happening that we can't fall asleep to. And Israel needs a friend. Israel needs a whole lot of friends. And really, they know. They're starting to learn. But there's some who definitely know that the greatest friend that Israel can have in this time is the church. And I'd say that there's a huge portion of the church that is not awake to that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what do we always say? About 75% of the church is replacement theology. And then the rest of it, I think there are a lot of people who are not just really paying attention to what's going on in the world. And it's an important aspect of your life as to what's going on in the world. God isn't just dealing with everything on a spiritual level. He's entering into the conflict here. And he's going to enter into this conflict that Israel is facing. One of the interesting things is that Iran is becoming more buddy and friends with Russia. Hamas has been decimated. They're not a threat really anymore. Hezbollah has been taken out. The Houthis are not, really functioning at the level that they were. So Iran has all of their proxies, and they've been taken away from them. And so who are they looking to? Russia is coming alongside as an ally, and I look at that and I think, well, Ezekiel 38, the stage is being set. I don't know how that's all going to, work out in terms of that alliance, but we know that that alliance is there, and it's building even right now as we watch it.
Well, you don't even have to look to Russia. You can look at Turkey. You can look at
Turkey also.
You can look at Syria. You can look at Saudi Arabia. All of these countries, there's a story to be told, and really that story will be told. One of the things that we keep talking about since we've been back is that we have been and we are telling the story of Israel, and we want to help Israel tell her story. And so we will be doing that, unfolding that. We have a lot of footage, we have a lot of audio and things that we've been capturing, and a lot of new friends that we're going to be bringing in so that we can continue to learn, so you can hear from them as well. But we'll be bringing in some recordings that we did. We were actually beyond the border and went into the line that crosses over into what was Syria, and now Israel has moved in to protect themselves.
Right.
I got to go in with a counterintelligence special forces IDF officer and special permission. I mean, some of the places that we went on this trip and the story that we get to hear, we're still processing. I mean, once again, the more we know, the more we know that we don't know anything. Yeah. So stay tuned, stay awake, stay alert, and continue to pray for and be watching what's going on. And like we always say, and we say it even more so now, Sha'alu Shalom Yerushalayim.
Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. They will prosper who love thee.
Shalom.